Hey everyone, this is Chris, and this is the pros and cons of the Skysurfer 2000. This is the new Skysurfer that was built for FPV. It had a dome on it, it's a new T-tail, and I covered a little bit on the maiden flight video of why the T-tail is so much better, and mentioned about the dome. But basically the dome is one of my negative points. It's an awesome idea, everything about it was great. There's one big problem, and you'll see in the pictures that there's no way to mount your camera if you glue the dome on. So you can't put the camera in. The dome doesn't have any detachable capability. So you either have to permanently mount a camera inside or somehow figure out a way to make the dome removable. So in my case, I just took the dome off, flew without it. You don't get any lens glare or anything like that. I will do a couple shots with the dome on so you can see what it would be like with the dome. So you can see if you want to use it. I haven't looked through it yet to see how its optic quality is, but it is something really to look at. Some of the other cons that I had with this is they still haven't changed anything about the upper pod assembly, which the Super Skysurfer was known to have a failure on. Anytime that you started loading these up a little bit, this top section would just rip off in flight, and you basically lost everything because there's nothing saving the plane. This one I have built nice and light, just has a single 5,000 milliamp free cell, just a decent motor, and the GoPro with some basic FPV gear in it. So there's not too much weight. Adding a flight controller, it's still very simple. It wouldn't be too bad. But if you wanted to start going up into larger 4 cells or larger batteries, you are going to start adding weight, which you really have to watch this section. It is an easy modification to upgrade these, but it's one of those things that'd be nice if the factory did something, even just adding some carbon spars in there, something to reinforce that. The only other issue that I had was that they left the old elevator tube in the airframe, even though it's not used anymore. I know that they just mass produce these and it's easy for them just to keep putting them in the mold, but leave it out. I mean, it's just that one extra part that you have to take out on your own because it can't use anything. It's just a plastic tube sitting inside it. So I had ripped mine out and it's useless. It's just extra junk inside. But overall, that's the gist of it for the positives and negatives. Well, for the negatives. The positives, this thing flies great. The control was really well. It didn't like riding with the wind too much, which I think that was where it needs a little bit more rudder authority, because it would easily get off yaw going with the wind. Going against the wind, it was locked in and flew nice and straight. But going with the wind, it would start yawing around and had some slight issues with that. I did do some flap mixing and mixed 40% flaps to 10% elevator, which seemed just about right. You didn't have any pitch issues when you hit the flaps, and I could use the flaps all the way from fully deployed down to 10% and still get a great benefit from it. It doesn't like to land, which is a good thing, but for me, trying to get it to land in the field that we fly in was pretty challenging. I basically had to hit the flaps, get it down on airspeed, release the flaps, drop it down into the field, and land. Which isn't too difficult, especially because I use the Tyrannus, so I have the shoulder sliders, so I can easily flip them up and down, and it worked out really well. The power, this is a 220 watt motor, I believe. I would definitely go with a 300 watt or a little bit higher, just to get a little more safety factor in there for launching. The servos are really nice. You can go to about a 20 gram servo. These are 17 gram Metal Gear servos, but you can go up to the slightly larger 20 grams and they would fit fine in there. The wheel is great for landing and it works really well. Haven't had any issues with that. And the dome is raised high enough that you don't have to worry about hitting your camera on landing. So, that's the pros and cons. Check back soon for another review.
No.
Yeah.